Okay, we are going to learn about this, about quantifiers, okay? So we have here some quantifiers. It says a few, a little, much, many. Then we have how many, how much, none. We have a lot, okay? And these are quantifiers that we can use to say the quantity, okay, of something. Para decir la cantidad. ¿Qué tanto tenemos de esto? Okay, for example, a little sugar, or you can say many apples, okay? We can say a lot of vegetables, okay? So we have these quantifiers that we are going to learn today to talk about our diet, okay? So take notes because at the end, I will ask you some questions, okay? Tomen nota porque después les voy a preguntar sobre los quantifiers. ¿Ok? Entonces, we use the quantifiers when we are talking about a quantity. ¿Ok? So, let's see. We have quantifiers that we use for countable nouns. ¿Ok? For example, we use for countable nouns, we use many when we are talking about a large quantity. ¿Ok? Many, for a large quantity. Utilizamos many cuando hablamos de una cantidad grande. Okay? And we use a few when we are talking about a small quantity. Okay? Cuando hablamos de una cantidad pequeña. A few. Small quantity. Okay? So, many and a few are used for countable nouns. Okay? Countable nouns. For example, you can say, I have many brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters is countable. So many, okay? I have a few friends. Friends is countable. So that's why we use a few. Okay, so many and a few. I want you to think in a sentence with many and a few. Okay, try to tell me a long sentence. Traten de decir una oración larga. Okay? Think about your sentence with many and a few.
Um, Maybe in my family, my mother have many brothers and sisters
Okay.
because he have six and three sisters and three brothers.
Okay.
But my dad have fifth
A
of
few.
sister, a fifth of sister, because she only have two and one brother.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. My mother has many brothers and sisters. She has three brothers and three sisters. But my father has a few brothers and sisters. He has two sisters and one brother. Very good. Very good example. Any other example that you have? Solis, please, tell me your example.
She has many pets, mm, but she has a few pets.
Okay, good. He has many pets, cats, dogs, parrots, fish, okay, many pets. But she has a few pets. She has only two dogs. Okay, very good example. And we use, when we are talking about countable nouns, we use how many, okay? For example, I can ask, how many brothers does your mother have? How many brothers does your mother have? Samuel, how can you answer to this question. How many brothers does your mother have?
I
She,
I few brothers.
she,
¿Me repite la pregunta, por favor?
how many brothers does your mother have?
She has a sister.
Okay, she has a few.
A few sisters.
Okay, thank you. She has a few sisters. Rosa Condori, how many pets do you have? How many pets do you have?
I I I have um a few.
I have a few. How many? Okay, you have a few.
Um,
How many? Number.
um two, two.
Two. Two. Okay, thank you. Very good. I have a few pets. I have only two, right? Very good. Okay, so I want you to ask me a question with how many? Any question with how many? Raise your hand here in Zoom, and I want you to ask me a question. You have to use how many, okay? Raise your hand so you can read your question. Tienen que hacerme una pregunta con how many. Si quieren hacer la pregunta, pueden levantar su mano aquí en Zoom. You can raise your hand. Okay, I have two participants here. Agni, please.
How many sunglasses do you have?
How many sunglasses do I have? I have only one pair of sunglasses. I lost my other sunglasses. Okay, thank you. Nisa, what is your question?
How many spoons of sugar do you, ay, no me acuerdo cómo se dice, colocar in your cup of coffee?
Do you put on your cup of coffee? I normally don't consume sugar. I have this liquid for my drinks. So, but sometimes I have a few cup of sugars or teaspoons of sugar. Okay. How many? Okay, Nicolas, can you read your question, please? Nicolas, what is your question? ¿No está acá Nicolás?
Yes, teacher. Solamente
Okay.
que lo escribí mal.
What is your question, Nicolás? ¿Cuál sería su pregunta, Nicolás?
Quería decirle cuántos hermanos tiene. O
Okay,
hermanas.
entonces, ¿cómo sería? How many brothers
How many brothers
do you have?
do you have? Yes.
Okay, I have none. I don't have brothers. I have sisters. Okay, I have many sisters. Well, I have 3 sisters. Okay, thank you. Andres, what is your question?
How many students do you have in all your classes?
I have many students. I guess I have 2,000 students in all my classes. 2,000. So, at least. Okay. Lilian, what is your question? Liliana, sorry. What is your question?
How many classes do you have in a day? In one day? In a normal day?
In a day, I have a few classes. I have 4 classes in a day. Okay, thank you. What is your question, Jose Ramiro?
How many eat fruit?
How many fruits do you eat? ¿Cómo sería?
How many eat fruit?
How many fruits do you eat? Again? What is your question, Ramiro?
How many fruit on day?
Do you
Do you,
eat? How many fruits do you eat? Again, one more time.
how many? Okay.
Again, please. How many?
Pero ya lo dije.
No, no la dijo todavía su pregunta, no está completa. How many fruits do you eat? Esa es la pregunta. ¿Puedes repetirla?
How many do you put fruit? Algo así.
Okay, listen. How many fruits do
How
you
many fruits
do you
do
eat?
you eat?
Okay. How many fruits do you eat? You can add in a day. How many fruits do you eat in a day? I eat like I eat a few fruits in a day. I eat like two, okay, 2 fruits. Okay, good. Let's continue. So this is what we use for countable nouns. Okay, many, and a few. Okay, let's go to the uncountable nouns. Here we have some examples of countable nouns. It says there are many cookies. There are a few students in the class. Or we have how many students are there in the class? So these are countable, right? Cookies and students. Then we have uncountable nouns. Okay, for uncountable nouns, we use much. Much for a large quantity. Okay, for a large quantity. And a little for a small quantity. Much for a large quantity and a little for a small quantity. Okay, for example, how much is for questions. How much money do you have? Okay, how much money do you have? I have a little money, or I have much money. Okay, good, very good. So now I want you to think in your sentences with much and a little. And then I want you to think in questions that you want to ask me with uncountable nouns, okay? Uncountable. Remember that we have abstract for uncountable nouns. We have liquids for uncountable nouns. We have material for uncountable nouns. We also have grains, for example, like rice, pasta, okay? If you have your question or your sentence, you can raise your hand. Si tienen su oración, ya pueden levantar su mano, okay? Thank you, Liliana. What is your sentence?
How much does rains in Santa Cruz in a year?
How much, again, please?
How much does rains in Santa Cruz in a year?
Okay.
I don't know if it's correct.
Okay. How much rain? Después del much, directamente viene el uncountable noun. Okay. How much rain is there in Santa Cruz in a year? How much rain is there in Santa Cruz in a year? Okay. Yes, I guess, well, we are in the middle, right? We don't have much rain because here is very hot, but in January, we have much rain, right? This January. Este enero tuvimos mucha lluvia, much rain. But for example, on my month, the birthday, my birthday month, we have a little rain. Okay, good. Varinia?
Una pregunta.
Yes, Rosa?
How much se utiliza con accountable o countable?
Uncountable. Rain
Uh,
is uncountable. Varinia, please, what is your sentence or your question?
How many pasta do you eat in a week?
How many pasta do you eat in a week? Very good. I eat a little pasta. I love pasta, but I eat a little because otherwise I get fat. So I can't eat a lot of pasta. Okay, thank you. Any other sentence? Diana, please.
How much water do you drink in a day?
How much
Water do you
water?
drink?
I drink much water. Okay, for example, my my glass of water is big because I speak a lot, so I am always thirsty. So I drink much water. Okay, very good. Thank you. Let's continue. So, much for uncountable nouns, a little for uncountable nouns, many for countable nouns. Okay, and a few also for countable nouns. Siempre recuerden que todo lo que tenga much es para incontables y todo lo que tenga many para contables. Okay?
Teacher,
Yes?
I have a question.
Mhm.
If chicken is uncountable, we can say a little chicken,
Yes. A little
but
chicken.
but that is not about the size of the chicken.
It,
And
it depends of the context of your sentence or your conversation. If you are
it could be
talking about size, yes, it's about the size. But if you are talking about eating chicken, you are not talking about the size anymore, right? You are talking about the quantity.
okay. It could be the both ways.
Yes, both.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we have some examples. There isn't much sugar in the coffee. There is a little milk in the fridge. How much juice is there left? Okay, I want to know if you understand the sentences and question here. Do you understand them? Okay, let's see. Then we have some quantifiers that we can use with both. We can use these quantifiers with countable and we can use them with uncountable nouns, with both, con ambos. Okay, so pay attention. A lot. We can use a lot with countable nouns and with uncountable nouns. Okay, and it is for a large quantity. Okay, for example, there are a lot of apples. So apples is countable, but we can say a lot of apples. Then we have here, there is a lot of sugar. Sugar is uncountable, but we can say a lot of sugar because a lot is used for countable and uncountable nouns. Okay? So let's see here. Some. Okay? Last class we learned that we use some for affirmative sentences, countable nouns. Remember? Countable affirmative sentences and plural. Okay, for example, there are some apples on the table. Okay, so some for countable, plural, nouns, and affirmative sentences. Then we have some for uncountable nouns. Okay, there is some water in the glass. Okay, so uncountable and countable. Then we have any. This is something that you know. We can use any for negative sentences and interrogative sentences. For example, there aren't any students in the class. Okay, there aren't any students in the class, so countable and plural. And none, it is used for some short answers. Okay, cuando ustedes quieran hacer una respuesta corta, Pueden ocupar solo none. ¿Ok? Is there any coffee in the cup? None. Significa no hay nada. Nada de café. ¿Ok? None. So these are some of the quantifiers that you can use with countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, let's go with the questions about the quantifiers. Okay. Tell me, please, how many quantifiers did you learn today? How many quantifiers did you learn today? Maribel.
I learned a few quantifiers.
For example, which ones?
4, many,
4. Which ones? ¿Cuáles?
many, a few, much, and a little.
Okay, and don't forget how many and how much. Okay. Did you learn any other quantifier today? Guys, did you learn any other quantifier today? ¿Aprendieron algún otro quantifier?
Yes.
Which one?
A lot, some, any, and none.
Okay, very good. A lot, some, any, and none, right? Very good. Thank you. Tell me, please, I don't know, Jose. Tell me, Jose, when do we use many? When do we use many?
We many countable. Countable.
Okay. Yes. Let me write the question. Okay, this is a question, right? La pregunta que le hice. Siempre tiene que tener en cuenta que en la pregunta ya está la respuesta. Entonces tiene que utilizar las palabras que tenemos acá. Por ejemplo, usted podría decir, we use many for countable nouns. Esa sería una respuesta correcta. Ok, we use many for countable nouns. ¿Por qué es una pregunta correcta? Porque está completa. Vamos a ver, tenemos un sujeto en la pregunta, tenemos un verbo en la pregunta, en la respuesta, perdón, y tenemos el complemento. Ok, entonces toda respuesta que usted dé debe tener esto. Sujeto, verbo y complemento. Ok, para todos les estoy diciendo esto. No me pueden responder no o no me pueden solo responder countable. O no me pueden responder solo countable nouns. Tienen que hacer su respuesta completa. ¿Ok? Yes, very good. We use many for countable nouns. Anything else that you can tell me about many? When do we use many? For countable nouns? But when? When do we use many? For all the countable?
Negative sentences.
Negative sentences? Yes, we can use many for negative sentences. Anybody else?
When we want to know the number of the things.
Okay, this is how many, not many, right? Yes.
Right.
When do we use many?
We use when talking about the large quantity.
Very good. Again, one more time, please. We use
many when talking about a large quantity.
Very good. We use many when we are talking about a large quantity. Large, una cantidad grande. Okay? So many for a large quantity. Thank you. What about a lot? When do we use a lot, Diana de Los Ángeles? When do we use a lot? Diana, are you here? De Los Ángeles?
Yes, teacher, estoy aquí. Alone,
A lot.
a lot.
Siga el orden que tenemos acá. We use a lot.
We use a lot uncountable nouns. Teacher.
Okay, we use a lot for countable nouns. What do you think, Rahan? When do we use a lot?
When it's a informal conversation.
No, I didn't say that. No dije eso jamás en la presentación. ¿Cómo es? ¿Cómo se siga este orden que tenemos en pantalla? We use a lot.
We use a lot for a big quantity.
A large quantity, yes. Nisa?
We use a lot for countables and uncountable nouns.
Yes, we use a lot for countable and uncountable nouns, right? For a large quantity too. Okay. What about a little? Madeleine, when do we use a little?
I don't remember.
Why? You didn't take notes. Read your notes. Lea sus apuntes. When do we use a little? Madeleine.
When we use a little for uncountable nouns.
Very good. Anything else? Guys, do you want to add anything else? Janine, what else can you add? We use a little for uncountable nouns. Anything else, Janine?
We use a little when it's small qualities and when it's uncountable.
Very
And question and affirmative sentences.
Okay, we use a little when we are talking about uncountable nouns and we are talking about a small quantity. Okay, very good. Any questions about this? ¿Alguna pregunta que tengan, algo que quieran aclarar?